Believe it or not, the Common Application is there to make your life easier. It's a standardized and centralized portal that enables you to use one application to apply to hundreds of participating schools across the country. The Common App consists of two components: Common Application Materials, which will be uniformly submitted to each school to which you're applying, and college-specific application materials, which will vary depending on where you're applying. Here's a crash course on each section of the application and where to find them, but first, here's a list of all the things you need for your college application. Letters of recommendation, although recommenders will enter these into Common App themselves. ACT or SAT scores. These are sent to the colleges and can be self-reported on Common App under the Education section. Your high school transcript, which is sent to the schools from your high school counselor. Personal and family info for the application. You may need to keep your parents nearby for this one. A finalized college list with major choices. That's a list of all the colleges you plan to apply to. Your personal statement, also referred to as the Common App essay or the narrative essay. Supplemental essays for colleges that require it. These are also referred to as college questions on the Common App, so don't be fooled. Your CSS profile. This is on your CollegeBoard account, but only for the select schools that require it. Resume. Make sure it's a PDF so that you don't lose your formatting. A list of 10 activities and 5 honors. Scholarship applications and a portfolio if applicable. Leave a comment if you want me to go more in depth about any of these. For now, I just wanted to give you a comprehensive list so that you don't feel like you're drowning when you try to collect all the different components of your application. Get yourself a beverage and let's go back to the Common App. The Common Application materials can be found under the Common App tab. Here are the sections that you'll have to fill out. Personal information and family background. These sections are pretty straightforward. Name, birthday, demographic information, your parents' names and education histories, etc. Educational background and course schedule. When you ask your school counselor to send your high school transcripts to schools, they'll likely only reflect 9th through 11th grade. So it's important to report your first semester senior schedule accurately in order to show colleges which courses you will complete before graduation. Don't abbreviate course names, spell them out to avoid any confusion. Test scores. Many schools in post-COVID years have gone test optional, meaning they allow students the choice of whether or not to submit their ACT or SAT scores. This does not apply to all schools though, and test optional policies have actually contributed to plummeting acceptance rates at schools all across the country. Submitting a solid test score could really set you apart from other applicants. We recommend giving the SAT or ACT your best shot or two before making a decision. If you decide not to submit your test scores to any schools or to only submit to select schools with lower score standards, check no in this section. Extracurricular activities. This is where you put your 10 activities and 5 honors that I mentioned in the list earlier, but only the activities get descriptions. Stick to the most important points when writing them. Basically, think in tweets because you only get 150 characters. For example, a strong description for a volunteer position at a library where you helped out with community events might look something like this. Planned and coordinated public events for 50-plus children, ages 4 through 12, aimed at inspiring a love of reading. Created promotional posts for social media. Personal narrative essay. You'll find the personal statement / Common App essay / narrative essay prompts under the Writing tab. Be sure to budget plenty of time for this essay. We're talking weeks or months if possible. This is the main impression that college admissions officers will have of you as a person, beyond a name on a page and a string of numbers representing your GPA and test scores. Those are the components of the general Common Application. Here are the components of the college-specific application. You'll need to first add all of your colleges under the My Colleges tab. These are the colleges that you have on your college list. You can do this by searching for a college and then hitting the Add button. Then you'll answer a bunch of college-specific questions, including major choices. Most schools require you to pick a first-choice major and a backup second choice. Read the options carefully and do your research. Some schools have similar-sounding majors. Radiology and radio broadcasting are wildly different degrees, and a Bachelor of Arts in Economics is quite different from a Bachelor of Science in the same field. Recommendation letters and counselor recommendations. Each school has its own requirements for how many letters you can submit and whom they should come from. Read these requirements carefully. Once you know who your recommenders will be, enter their email addresses into this section to send them a secure link through which they'll upload your letter. Supplemental essays. You'll find the supplemental essay prompts as you click on each college, usually under the Questions or Writing Supplement tab. But don't just skip straight to these tabs. Make sure to fill out each section one by one, leaving nothing blank. Occasionally, your answer may trigger a surprise question or essay prompt, especially when you put in your majors. Keep an eye out for that. You don't want to end up scrambling to put together a patchwork essay on the night before your deadline. Read the college information section carefully. The college information section for each school in your My Colleges tab will display essential information about their various types and dates for deadlines, their application fees, and their admissions office contact info. When in doubt, don't freak out. Check the college information section. Don't procrastinate. If you couldn't tell, there's a lot of information that you need to fill out. While it may be tempting to save for last the mundane task of filling out endless lines of information about you or your parents, don't wait. Make a new email address. Use an email address that you won't lose access to upon graduating, so not a school-issued email account. If the email address you typically use contains an unprofessional or inappropriate phrase, or if it's overrun with junk mail, create a new one solely for your college applications. Colleges will be using this email to conduct all their communications with you throughout the application process, so make sure to check it frequently. If you haven't started your narrative essay yet, you do need to get a move on. You can check out this video where I go through the pitfalls, goals, and examples of every Common App prompt. And if you're concerned about making mistakes on your college application, check out this one. Once you know who your